Well, we deserve to win. Tonight we might have won one. I'm not sure we deserve to win. So, as Judd always said, ugly win is better than a pretty loss. I give Iowa a lot of credit. I thought defensively that was the best I've seen them play. I thought early in the game we got off to a poor start and didn't like the way we practiced today in our walkthrough. Kind of felt it. We got beat up pretty good inside early. We didn't do a very good job there. But we couldn't guard Ulis with a fishnet, and that's a little bit bothersome. But what we did is we put AJ on Murray, which is an oddity for us, and so we changed things up a little bit. And then we put, I think we had some trouble, even though Marty had a double-double, and great for him. But we really had some trouble with the ball screens, and I think some of it was AJ not on it. But that's what we chose to do, and it worked on Murray, and it didn't work on Ulis. But I thought for us, Marty bounced back second half and, got some big rebounds, some big plays. Did not think he was as good defensively as he's been, but it was a good game for him. I thought Walker showed how much he's grown in the program, getting hurt like he did and just playing as hard as he did and coming back. He's still, kind of run down from that flu, and I thought he did a heck of a job sucking it up, which I'm not sure he would have done a year ago. And coming off that ankle and hitting that big shot late was big. But if I had to pick a number one star, it was Malik, because to do what he did with 2 days of practice, maybe a couple of walkthroughs last week, and really haven't practiced much in, maybe 2 weeks in the last 2.5 months. His conditioning, I didn't think he'd be able to play 24 minutes. We had to play him. His foot was fine, so we did. He did a pretty good job on Murray also. And, hey, we found a way to win a big game against a very good team who's been playing really well, won 4 out of 5. So I'm excited about that. Not as excited about maybe the way we played, but got to win some that you don't play as well. That's the mark of a good team, too. So now we get to move forward. Questions?
Tom, with 8 seconds left, can you kind of give us the anatomy of the defense that you called in the huddle?
Yeah, we were going to switch 4 and keep Marty on their center. And I don't know how he got so open, and I don't know how the other guy got so open. That was a nice play. We had a nice play at Kentucky. That was a very good play by Franny, I thought. I don't know exactly who's made the mistakes on why guys were open, but we deserved for a shot not to go in. We had a lot of our own. I thought they played really good defensively. I thought we missed some great shots. AJ misses a damn layup, and so that's what we were going to do at the end, and it worked.
Tom, I'm wondering about the toughness component of the guys. Obviously, Malik, and you mentioned about Tyson as well, but Joey too, kind of going down there at that one point. Each one of them kind of bouncing back and in a close game contributing late.
Yeah, I thought that was big because Joey didn't have a good game either, and yet then he gets hurt, and then he bounces back and hits those 2 big threes. He did some really good things offensively. He had to guard Murray some too, but he played the most minutes. I would like to have gotten him a little more of a rest, but when our wings were struggling a little bit, we couldn't find anybody to cover. So I had to play Malik on the perimeter a little bit more. But you're right. Every one of those guys came through. Walker came through. Joey came through. We came up with some big rebounds. We out-rebounded them. They're a very good rebounding team. We got 12 offensive rebounds. That's their strength. We only had 10 turnovers. In fact, we had 4 early, and we had, I think, 2 to start the second half, and then only a couple late, and those were on the press. So I thought we did some good things. It'll probably look better to me on the film because you don't give the other team credit. That was a good basketball team, a very good basketball team. that I thought played as hard as I've seen them play. I really did.
It was as if you could feel Malik when he was out there. And I'm wondering where you feel it most. Is it the sizable guy who can drive and can post? Is it the defense on Murray? Is it all? I mean, where do you really feel him when you're watching the game?
Yeah, that's a very good question because it is more comforting when he's out there because he helps. He knows where to be. He knows what to do. I was surprised he moved as well as he did. He went up and got a couple of rebounds, that dunk. That surprised even me. So, all we got to do is pray to God now that tomorrow he's hanging in there, and he'll be a little sore, I'm sure. Sore is good. Like I said, hurting is okay, injury is not. And so I think, we can post him, we can get him the ball in the wing, and he can do some things. I think he had 4 assists, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, the guy just does a lot of things. I mean, anybody wondered why, if we missed him, we missed him. So I'd say the comfort level, knowing he can do a lot of different things, and yet you could see the inexperience of him not being with us. Like, we haven't gotten beat on maybe 2 out-of-bounds plays, and they get a layup, and some of that was him. He went out, and some of it was Marty, but we got to get him practicing with our guys now.
Tom, I was going to ask about Malik, too. Just wondering kind of what the last week and a half has been like for this team. It seemed like right after it happened, you thought it was kind of the worst, and then you get the lift of him coming back. I mean, what kind of a lift has that been for him and the team?
Well, everybody was excited when we found out he had a chance. The problem was nobody knew how long it would be. So, I didn't know 2 days ago whether he'd play. I talked to his mom. I didn't know if he'd play. I didn't know yesterday that he'd play. It all comes down to getting up in the morning. How do you feel? But I think he looked like a more confident guy, so it must be feeling better. And yet, now he's got to live through as I said, if you shoveled snow for the first time, you're going to be sore. I mean, he's going to be sore. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with his foot. It just means there's a bunch of muscles that haven't been used in a couple of months, to be honest with you. So we'll see what that brings tomorrow. But I really, I like when guys reach down and do some of those things, and he did, and Walker did, and AJ played pretty good, but boy, when things went wrong, and then going to jack a 3, got to do, still got to learn that there's things you got to do as a point guard that you got to do. Jack?
Jaden and Malik, your 2 leading scorers, when you look at what they did all over the court, make it even more impressive. You won some games without them?
Well, yeah, that's 2, like I told you, this summer, those were 2 of my best players, along with Joey and Tyson. So, I mean, look at it. It's a big loss for us. I'm sure some teams haven't had a loss yet. Some teams haven't had an injury yet, is what I'm saying. And some teams have had, I talked to Fred Hoiberg today. He's got 2 guys out for the rest of the year. I look at Minnesota last night play their tail off, and they've got 2 of their best players out and still lose by 1 or 2. So I mean, some teams haven't gone through it yet. Some teams may not. Some might get hit again, like us. Who knows? But I've always believed that the next man up theory is a crock. You got to do it, but you're never as good if you lose your key players. And you got to find a way. There's no excuses. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. But the reality of it is, what you said over here is that Malik Hall brings some calmness to me. If nobody else, he brings it to me.
Tom, halfway through the Big Ten season right now, 10 games played, 10 left, maybe not playing your best basketball like you mentioned right now. What's the most important thing for you guys to improve on the rest of the way?
I think we played really good stretches. Like Rutgers, I thought that was a toughness game that we played good in. I thought Illinois, we went there and played awfully well without key guy. And if you look at both those games, Illinois and Indiana, we lead late and kind of probably wear down a little bit, and so I think that's going to help. If you take Malik's 30 minutes a game and you disperse it up, we're going to be able to get some guys some rest. But our offense, I'm not very pleased with our offense right now. There's a lot of standing around, but we had 2 things. We didn't get to work on it, because of the schedule, and we didn't execute very good either. There was a lot of standing around tonight. We'll watch a little bit of Michigan and Purdue, but we're going to talk about Michigan State a little bit tonight. Defensively, giving up 47% isn't very good for us. But if you looked at it, I think there were like 4 layups in the first half on screwed up plays. And so I thought our half-court defense was pretty good other than guarding Ulis. And some of that was decisions we made. And if I look back, maybe I'd change it up, maybe not. Murray's getting 23 points a game. And we held him to not only not that, but 0 for 5 from 3. I watched him warm up, and I went and told my staff, a kid didn't miss a shot. I mean, I was really impressed with him, really impressed.
Coach, could you talk about those first few minutes when Iowa was up 10-0 and Michigan State was struggling to get on the board and how that affected Michigan State the rest of the game?
I really don't want to, but I guess I will. It was not a lot of fun out there, and it was not a lot of fun on the bench. I thought we missed some good shots, took a couple bad shots, had a couple turnovers. We just didn't look like we were moving the ball in sync, and that's what I have a problem with right now with our team, if you ask what we got to get better at. And, but with Joey, Malik, Tyson, we got enough shooters. We should be a better offensive team than we are, and we've got to get that. So that was my main worry. I just didn't think we were moving the ball side to side. I thought it was staying on one side and too much one-on-one crap, to be honest with you.
Along with that, I think it was the third time in 4 games you had a slow start like that, but the third time in 4 games that you kind of had that counter punch back after it. What allows this group to kind of fall behind like that, but quickly pull right back into it so it doesn't feel like a long gap?
Yeah, I should give us more credit than I do for that. I just keep saying, why in the hell are we starting out that way, But hey, there's no quitting our guys. I mean, we compete, we played, we found a way, and I keep saying it. I see LaRonda here, but our crowd has been unbelievable this year, I mean, our crowd helped us a lot. Even when we're not going, they got us going. And, when you El McGuire it, you look up in the corners, and the corners are filled. You feel pretty good, and that's kind of what I'm seeing, and I think our players even mentioned it to me after the game. So, again, thank you to our fans. They've been unbelievable, and our people here that are doing that. But that's been a big reason, although we've done it a couple times on the road too. So we've got to have some intestinal fortitude, but you don't want to live that way. And I say all that, and I look at Purdue, and I love what Matt does, but they've had 3 or 4 games down to the wire that, they've won them all. We've won a few and lost a few, but nobody's going through this thing playing good every night. I'll tell you that. You just said it. We're halfway through. It feels like we've been through 2 seasons, and we're only halfway through the Big Ten. I think I liked it better when we had 16 games, personally.
Tom, I imagine in practice, you can rep out those end-of-game one-stop scenarios 100 times. There's nothing like that live action. And you talked about what the plan was, but how do you assess the way that the team executed it, and just kind of maybe the confidence builder it can be to be able to get a stop like that against a good Iowa team? How do you kind of assess all of that?
I saw 2 wide-open shots. So I'd assess that we didn't do very good, but I think some of that was a great play on their part, and I don't know what happened on the breakdown. I know we were switching 4, and there was no reason for what to happen happened. So I can think of a couple things I might change next time that I'll keep to myself, but I don't think the players did anything wrong. Just like on the ball screen coverage, we made some changes because of certain people and who we had on the ball and what we did with AJ. And I got to reassess that too. So, it's a chess game. And whoever thought that Ulis would do what he did, and Murray and And the guy that's been unbelievable is Sanford. He's been unbelievable in these last 5 games. I think he's averaging 15, 16 points. And we did a pretty good job. The other guy that I think doesn't get a lot of credit for them is Connor McCaffrey. He's improved his shooting so much. I mean, I remember 3 years ago, we would guard him from here to the camera. And I told him after, I mean, unbelievable. I mean, I watch him warm up, and he's shooting from NBA threes and making shot after shot after shot. So we did a decent job on him, too. We probably did a better job on some than I think. A poor job on our ball screen defense and Ulyss. But all in all, the losses don't matter. Nobody cares if you led by 1 with 8 seconds left. So the win should be the same way. You shouldn't care that you were up 1-1, just like even though we didn't play as good. So I'll take the win. Last couple.
Tom, as a coach, what does it mean to you, as we're having this press conference with you, that one of your leaders is A.J. Hogarth's out shooting free throws right now on the court?
I like that. I might go down and buy him a pizza. I got him on a little diet here, but I might buy him a monster salad or something. And I laugh, but I had some guys that did that over the past. My first one was Steve Smith. I remember Smitty. We got our butts kicked by somebody, and the game ended and nobody could find him. He was in the weight room. It's those kind of guys. If you got that drive, it's going to pay dividends. So if AJ's shooting, and I'd probably be a smart aleck and tell him to, work on layups too. But that's me. But I'm proud of him for that. That's great. He's got time.
Anything else?
We're going to get better, guys. I think we're going to get better. I really do. And boy, you look at the whole league, everybody's kind of going through some ups and downs, but winning a big game, being 6-4 at the break, I think is a start. Now we got a tough second half, and I'm looking forward to it, including Sunday. Thanks.